Guys, listen. This is not a drill, okay? This is not a drill. We are currently seeing the market crash. Y'all know like what they were talking about in that movie, Leave the World Behind, okay? Y'all, shout out to two YouTube channels, New Breed Global Truth and Smart Money Bro. They broke it down so well, and I really, really want the people that are watching this channel to get this, okay? Number one, I'm looking at this from a global standpoint. If you are not aware, Trump put global tariffs on every country on earth, okay? Some have as little as 10%, Ghana, Ethiopia, some other countries. Some have as high as like 54%, China, okay? Madagascar, South Africa, Mauritius has some pretty high ones as well. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. Japan and China have both retaliated. I saw the list, guys. The list on the board that President Donald Trump had put up. The list of the countries that were in the top 10. China, the European Union. He just slammed the whole European Union. He didn't even pick out Switzerland, Germany, none of that. He said the whole EU. Japan, Malaysia, Thailand, all of these very strong economies, okay? All of these large economies are enormous, and they are how should I put it? They're not at risk. They're competition to America. They're clear competition. And so at first I thought that the US was worried about Africa, but when I looked at the list, I was like, oh, the US ain't even focused on Africa all like that. The US is worried about the EU and Asian markets who are dominating. The president of Japan came out. This is why I tell y'all, you better look at global news. You better understand what's happening. Japan, their president came out and said, we are very disappointed in President Donald Trump. We are going to do everything we can to reverse the situation. And they didn't show any indications of like, oh, we're going to submit further. They showed more indications of like, actually, we're going to bypass this and go the route to BRICS. China, Friday, April 4th, 2025. The Chinese government has also imposed back tariffs on America. Okay? Now, allegedly, what's being stated among economists is that this was not a true reciprocal tariff, even though it was said that it is a reciprocal tariff. It's actually being stated by certain economists, okay, that it's not a true tariff. A true tariff that is reciprocal is like when it's 20%, 20%, 15, 15. But there's a lot of talk on the economist streets, on the global entrepreneur streets, that's like, that's not legitimately what's taking place. So China has just imposed 34% tariffs on American companies. 34% tariffs on American companies, meaning if you want to sell Apple iPhones to China, that price has to increase by 34% to fit inventory. Next, we need to talk about retailers in America. I was on Instagram this morning with entrepreneurs in my community, Black entrepreneurs in America, and a sister who is a retail mogul, like millions and millions of dollars in retail for beauty, hair, skin, all the things, because our community loves to get the shea butter, the weaves, the wigs, and she broke it down. This is hitting retail as well. Let me tell you how. She said in her live video that retailers, Black-owned companies, Asian-owned companies in America, anybody that has like wigs, so if you buy a $500 Indian Brazilian wig, I don't know what kind of wigs they be buying, if they get those, and the tariffs on that specific country, let's take China for example, they're at like 54%. Take that cost, $500 times 54%. You're going to have about $254. So that wig, instead of costing $500, is going to be $754. You see how this works? You see how the math is mathing? This is going to take a hit to whose pockets? The American consumers' pockets. In the long run, it may make things easier for the US to produce their own. But by the time that takes place, BRICS will already be in power. BRICS will already have their coins set. The yen, the yuan, all the other currencies will already start to elevate over the US dollar. This is a desperate move by America to try and get some of the power back because it's a declining society, it's a declining currency. But I believe it's the straw on the camel's back that is going to make all the other African, Asian, even EU humans on the face of the planet unify and turn against that country, okay? And this is prophesied in the book of Revelations that Babylon's lovers, so to speak, her traders, her people that would come to her for trade, would turn against her. We are seeing this in real time. This is breaking news. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, check out Smart Money Bro. Check out Newbury Global on YouTube. Start to get the knowledge that you need to maneuver in these times, because it's not helpful for you to be in the dark. It's not helpful to be ignorant. Ignorance is not bliss in these times, okay? So what can you do? Now, you know, if I were you, I would be in Africa. I'm going to keep it 100. I've lived in Africa for 5 years. And so I can only tell you the advice that I would take myself is to live in Africa. Why would I live in Africa? Because my cost of living is 60% lower. With my cost of living being 60% lower, when the world is going into a global trade war and a global recession is about to hit the entire earth, it is easier to sustain yourself when the cost of living is already 60% lower. So when it just inches up the cost a little bit, it doesn't hurt you. Versus you're in the West, you're in the UK, you're in Germany, you're in America, you're in the Caribbean, and the cost of living is already high. Now you're in a global trade recession, insane situation, and it goes higher. It goes like boom, it skyrockets out the roof, okay? And so you need to think about this. I want you to think about this. You should also understand, just in, oil tumbles 8% as China retaliates with tariffs on the US. Oil tumbles 8%. I want you to know these percentages that we're seeing in oil, 5% down with the stocks. These are large numbers. I know they sound small, but please, you need to start to understand economics in the market, right? You need to have knowledge, okay? This is big information. This is going to be something that totally decimates the Western economies, totally. And we're seeing prophecy come to fruition right now in this time. If anybody thought everything was normal, if anybody thought, well, America's the best country on earth, please, it would behoove you to think again. Now, another solution. If you're like, yes, I see the writing on the wall, I'm good. I want to go ahead and escape the West. I want to live somewhere with a 60% lower cost of living. Go ahead and check out the playlist that I've linked down below. Go ahead and check out Black Educators Amplified, because you're gonna wanna have an online business. Remember what I just said about retail. Retailers are not going to be in business. We've been saying this for 5 years. We're online business owners, online entrepreneurs, consultants. If you do not have an education consultant base in your business, meaning it's fine to have a skincare, hair care, whatever company that's like product based, like a water bottle company. But you need to also make sure that some kind of way you can sign speaking engagements, you can sign service-based clients, you can sign workshop contracts, you can sign education consulting contracts to offset this global reset. This is wisdom. This is practical wisdom. You need to diversify. You need to not put all your eggs in one basket. And you need to be in constant prayer. You need to pray without ceasing. And if you are exiting America anytime soon, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process. You're going to be blessed and highly favored, and you're going to live your best life. That's what we've been doing for 5 years, as well as tons and tons of our clients across all different countries in Africa. Even some have gone to Asia, South America, all the things. And so the time is upon us. I want to know down below, what are your plans in this time? Your practical plans. What are you going to be doing? Shalom, shalom.